President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Governor of the Central Bank Hassan Abdullah, Minister of Planning and Economic Development Hala Saeed and Minister of Finance Mohammed Maid on Tuesday. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said President al-Sisi reviewed the latest indicators of overall performance of Egypt's economy and implementation of an initiative to reduce basic commodity prices. President al-Sisi was also briefed on the most important economic targets and cooperation efforts with various internal financial institutions in this regard. The head of state directed to strengthen reforms related to financial and monetary policies and maximize the role of the private sector in the development process. This comes within the framework of the state's ongoing efforts to improve the overall indicators of the economy. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed on Tuesday the significance of Egypt's pivotal role amid the Gaza war. At a cabinet meeting in the new administrative capital, Madbouli referred to the expanded international participation in Cairo's Summit for Peace, hosted by Egypt, as well as Cairo's efforts to guarantee that humanitarian and medical aid reach Gaza. The Prime Minister reviewed the outcome of his visit to China on behalf of President al-Sisi to attend the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, which witnessed the signing of crucial agreements in development fields, as well as his meetings with heads of and representatives of big Chinese firms and key international finance institutions. On another track, the Prime Minister asserted that the government in the coming stage would empower the private sector in the fields, focusing on localizing industry as one of the national targets. Madbouli also probed the executive position of an initiative aimed at reducing prices of key commodities. Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri said on Tuesday that Egypt has condemned any targeting of innocent civilians, pointing out that more than 5,000 Palestinians, including children, fell martyrs in the Israeli attacks in Gaza Strip during the last 3 weeks. The Foreign Minister's remarks came during his participation in the UN Security Council Open Dialogue session on Gaza. Shukri also said that Egypt has been always warning of the international community's shy response to the calls for settling the Palestinian cause based on two-state solution. The top diplomat added that Egypt has also warned of the Israeli policies that aim at toppling the Middle East peace process and weakening the Palestinian Authority. Shukri stressed that the Palestinian people will never abandon their homeland. The foreign minister called for immediate ceasefire in Gaza, halting of forced displacement of Palestinians, offering international protection for Palestinian people, securing access of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, reaching a binding formula for settling the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and the UN Security Council's shouldering responsibility for launching an international investigation on severe violations of international law. Earlier in the day, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri took part in a UN Security Council ministerial session over the latest developments in the Middle East on Tuesday. Shukri reviewed Cairo's vision and assessment of the dangerous military escalation in Gaza. He called for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, as well as an end to the Israeli siege. The top diplomat reviewed efforts to provide protection for Palestinian civilians in Gaza and allow the entry of humanitarian aid in a sustainable manner. On the sidelines of the session, Arab foreign ministers held a joint press conference to reveal the Arab position regarding the current Gaza conflict. Head of Egypt's State Information Service, Ziad Rashwan, held an international press conference on Tuesday to clarify Egypt's position on the ongoing war in Gaza. During the conference, which was attended by representatives of the foreign and Egyptian media, Rashwan affirmed that Egypt had not abandoned the Palestinian cause since the latest escalation had begun. He noted that Egypt had warned last December of the deteriorating situation in the occupied Palestinian territories due to the Israeli aggression. Rashwan further reiterated that Egypt views that the Palestinian cause should be settled in accordance to international legitimacy, UN resolutions and negotiations, which called on a two-state solution with East Jerusalem as the Palestinian capital. He said Egypt called last April in a joint statement with France, Germany and Jordan for an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire. According to Rashwan, Egypt later in May had condemned the Israeli aggression in the occupied Palestinian territories, especially after settlers stormed Al-Aqsa Mosque. He noted that Egypt's constant position towards the Palestinian cause during the past 75 years had been confirmed by President Sisi at various occasions, who labeled it as the cause of causes, which would never die. Aid and relief materials continue entering from Egypt into Gaza Strip through the Rafah border crossing. A third new convoy of 20 trucks entered into the Strip, carrying water, medical needs, food, including 9 trucks affiliated to the Egyptian Red Crescent and 6 others affiliated to the Egyptian Food Bank. Meanwhile, dozens of trucks carrying thousands of tons of international relief aids heading to Gaza are lined in front of the Rafah border crossing or in El Arish, northern Sinai. Earlier, 37 trucks entered Gaza during the previous 2 days.